I have bad credit. Can I still get deals done? I'm Tim Diesel, I'm a commercial real estate consultant. Today I'm going to talk about a question that I received, and it's many of you are probably thinking the same thing, and it does kind of alleviate a lot of pressure if I go ahead and answer this for you. So if you have bad credit, can you still do deals? Can you still get deals done? The answer is yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, the last 5 deals I've done had nothing to do with my credit, and you definitely can't get deals done without your credit. Now, there's a couple ways to look at this, because there's a easy side and then there's a more difficult side. It's more challenging. Depending on your experience level, let's start with the beginning. Let's just say you have absolutely no credit and it is poor, bad, bankruptcy, whatever, right? And you find a property, and for argument's sake, it's a $1 million building. So how do you bring it down? What do you do? Well, it's easy. There's a couple ways you can do it. If you do owner financing, your credit is not that important. Now, if you're going to go through a bank, you're probably going to have to partner up with somebody who's got better credit than you. Now, if your credit is not so bad and the deal makes sense, the bank will overlook a lot of things. A couple of things they won't overlook is if you have many outstanding judgments, or you have a bankruptcy that's somewhat recent. So obviously, if it was like 15 years ago, they usually don't look at that kind of thing. Or they look at it, they recognize it, but they don't use that against you. So there are some things that will be viewed, and they can make exceptions. A couple things that I haven't seen too many things. Let's say everything on your credit is great, and you have an 800 credit score, but the highest revolving credit card you have is maybe $5,000. And maybe your car is a $10,000 loan. And your house is, I don't know, worth 50 grand or 100 grand. And you're trying to buy a building that's like 2 or 3 million. Sometimes they will scrutinize that a little bit. Just because you have a good credit score doesn't mean you've handled money of large quantities before. So there are some things they'll look at there. Now, if you've got a way to improve your credit, maybe pay down some debt, get some things turned around, yes, that is always recommended. That's always much easier. It's much easier to do a deal with good credit, because then you can be on the paperwork. You can get the loan yourself. You can obtain a lot of different financing, credit lines, credit cards. But if you absolutely have no credit, you can still definitely get this done. You just have to partner up with someone who's got better credit than you, and maybe structure a way that they have a piece of the deal, or you have to work the terms out between that person and what they want. But there are people out there who have got great credit, and they will be part of the deal for their credit. So if you're putting your team together, like we talked about, and maybe you have someone who has a whole lot of money, and you have a great credit partner who's got great financials, right, who can qualify for a loan, maybe you could bring that person in. So there are different ways to look at the deal. I don't want you to think that if you've got bad credit, you can't make a deal happen. There are definitely, the easiest way to do it is owner financing, right? Because the seller doesn't really care so much. But if you're going through hard money, which is expensive, they're kind of about your credit, not really that much. Private financing, I've never once had them do a credit check or anything on any of the investors that we work with. So if you have enough money, if you've done enough deals, this is why I say in your very first deal, if you're borrowing money, it's difficult because you don't have a track record. So after you've done 2 or 3, more people are going to want to get involved. There are a lot of investors out there that will gladly give you money and not deal with the headache. Tons of them, because they don't want to deal with it. You're probably giving up a lot of the pie, which is fine. And you can do the same thing for credit partners. So talk to your friends, your family, talk to your network, see who's interested, see what the deal requires. So a lot of times you can go to the bank and you can say, hey, what are you guys looking for? Many times they're looking for a 640. They're not really looking for a super duper number. And you might be within lines, and you can talk to them. So see how bad your credit is. I haven't seen anyone with like a 0 credit score or something. It's always been somewhat manageable. So hope that was helpful. If you have any more questions on anything, please let me know. Thank you.